Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
These marriages are not perfect, but all in all, they seem to work. Marriage is an institution for grown-ups.
It's like a love-hate relationship.
There are no bosses in a modern marriage. He knows he's lucky to have a wife.
Morning, everybody. Simon here, Laura over there.
Morning.
And I certainly don't sound as breathless as I've probably sounded on the last 3 weeks with the podcast. Made an executive decision yesterday. I said, why don't we go for the morning walk and then record when we get back, have a cup of coffee, sit in the cottage garden.
Yeah.
Looking out towards the sunrise and the hills and the cows and the fields and the trees. And I don't know if I've made the right decision. Right now it's lovely to be sitting here.
Well, it's we've broke from the norm, so it feels weird at the moment, doesn't it?
But during the walk this morning, I saw a lot of things that I'd like to have talked about. You know, when we do his little interjections, I don't know if it makes... There's a robin, look, on end at washing line. See him? Right on end. See his little red breast on?
Oh, yeah, I see him. There you go. See, that's just...
The interjection.
Yeah.
We've
I just realised I've not put a sweetener in my...
Coffee.
Yeah.
Do you want to run and get one? I can fill. You could describe going through a kitchen. Do you want to go and get one?
Yeah.
Go on. Are you going to talk?
Huh?
Are you going to talk?
No, you can talk.
Okay, I'll talk. So you'll probably hear Laura's ambience as she walks through the house and grabs a sweetener for a coffee. You might even get a tingling of the spoon in a minute outside at cup. So, half blue skies, over towards sunrise. It's there's some grey clouds there, but they're all broken up. It's a beautiful sunrise. I'm sitting in sun. Sunday 19th of September. When we went for his walk this morning, it said it was 14 degrees, but it certainly doesn't feel like 14 degrees now. 16 degrees now. They're saying highs are 18 today, so it's not going to get much warmer than this. We're just doing the sweeteners in the drinks. I promised the listener a bit of ting-ting.
It's not got quite a ting.
You leaned in, but it's thick, and it do a ting on top.
Yeah, but these cups don't seem to have much.
Solid. Tea gives you a better ting because it's a thinner, it's more watery, isn't it? She's overdone. She doesn't ting this much in real life.
No.
We were wanting more cafe in Dubai, and our daughter got told off for tinging, and she literally had done the standard 3 tings, and she got told off. There's not many times I've almost been violent in Dubai, but that were one of them.
Yeah, no, I'm
Listen to these crows.
I know. I've not seen any scarecrows. I've seen a lot of crows eating...
The crows are saying to you.
F off.
Yeah. So, beautiful morning. Still a bit of dew on the grass around us. The sun's not up yet to burn it off.
It's the first time Betsy's seen morning dew yesterday, and I was having to explain it to her.
Yeah. She is so happy. I mean, if you saw my stories yesterday, we sat out here and had crumpets yesterday morning, and she sat in this chair next to me, and I did a little video and I said, how are you finding the cottage so far? And she just went, 10 out of 10, Daddy. She's loving it. So, big talk today. Bristol. We lost our Bristol virginity yesterday.
Yeah, and I was really excited because
yeah,
we've heard so many things.
We've done as much research as I think it's possible to do, certainly you.
Yeah.
And obviously, I keep saying to Leo, like as we drove from Longley, I'm like, first time for Bristol.
Yeah, yeah.
When I'm driving, I'm a very excited dad driver, pointing things out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go and get a gun and scare these crows off in a minute. They're miles away. So yesterday, we had a bit of time in the garden.
We did a little bit of a plan for the next week and a half.
Yeah, which may change now. And we set off down to Bristol. Now, the first bit, obviously, from our cottage near Barclay.
Yeah.
Which I keep calling Beverley, which is in Hull.
Is it? Oh, there is actually...
Yeah.
Oh, right, I just thought you were just...
We are a long way from there.
Thinking about some woman called Beverly.
Big Bev. Great days. So, we drive through the country bit, which is an absolute pleasure to me. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm a great country driver. The giving way, the waving to everybody. I love it. And then we had to do 3 motorways. Can you believe that between here and Bristol, which is a stone's throw away, we drove on 3 motorways yesterday. We drove on the M5, M4 and M32.
Right.
Every one of them packed to the bloody rafters.
Yeah, well, I think it's a mixture of, there's people doing loads of staycations still.
Heading down to Devon and Cornwall that way. This is a trunk road for getting down there, I would say, from the north.
Yeah. There are hundreds of university students going to university this weekend. And yesterday, which Leo decided to tell us in the car, was the main day for Bristol University.
Yeah.
And also, it's a Saturday, so it's the day everybody goes shopping.
Yeah.
And it's market day.
So we sat in traffic.
Yeah.
And Dubai is notorious for its traffic jams.
Yeah.
And it's got really bad of late just before we left, actually, with schools going back in. It's gone to old Dubai to me. I've not been expecting that. I've been in some traffic jams. It took us a long time to drive home from Christchurch the other day to Calshot.
Yeah.
This traffic really annoyed me yesterday.
I could tell.
Motorway traffic, stoppy-starty, and it felt like forever. The Skoda sat-nav is an absolute idiot. It is the worst sat-nav
We've
I've ever
talked
had.
about this bloody sat-nav nearly every day since we've had this car. But
And here's the fun thing it
it's
does.
a new car.
When it is working, if you pick your phone up to check on Waze or Google Maps that we're going in the right direction, it overrides the car one, but it doesn't switch it off. What it does is it just deletes the track I'm on.
Yeah.
It's so bloody annoying. I'm going to write to Skoda because I do like the car otherwise. Anyway, we get into Bristol proper and it's Saturday. There's a lot of one-way streets. I've never been before. Is it labyrinthian? Maze-like?
Maybe, yeah.
We end up in dead-end streets. We end up in one-way streets. We ended up at the Nelson Street NCP.
And all you could see was parents and plus one child with bags and bags and bags.
And they're us. They've
Yeah.
got this kid, this fresh-faced kid, staring at the phones more often than not. Mums and dads carrying them massive, you know them bags you take to the laundrette? Them big red square ones?
Yeah, the big...
Packed to the rafters.
Big IKEA bags, suitcases.
Everyone's double parked.
The clothes horse.
Yeah. All manner of things. Some people had the... there's a name for these things, I don't know what it is. It's like a gurney, the trolley thing on 2 wheels.
Well...
That's clever thinking.
Well, yeah, but I'm wondering because it was the same colour for everybody, so I'm hoping it's one that they give you.
It'd be nice. There was a lot of people in high vis from student union places. Some cyclists passing by, I don't know if you can hear them. And it was very exciting to see because in a couple of days that'll be us. Mm-hmm. It was terrifying as well.
Yeah.
We got to see Leo's building. Now Leo is currently wearing not just rose-tinted glasses, he's got rose-tinted bifocals. On top of that, he's got rose-tinted binoculars, and on each side of the binocular, he's got 2 rose-tinted telescopes. For some reason, I nearly said 2 rose-tinted testicles then, because it's early. And I've not finished my coffee.
He's probably got them too.
He is totally blinkered to this being the best experience ever. I'm looking at that building he's moving into, and it looks like Fort Apache, the Bronx. It's not finished, it's locked up, there's all building stuff inside it. It doesn't look clean. All these university buildings to me look like old council flats.
Well, the thing is, you know, some of these, you know, universities, like, and Leo could have had the choice of pretty much any. He was really lucky, he got great grades. And you get some universities, and we looked at some that were, you know, these beautiful old buildings, surrounded by lakes and parks and stuff. And actually, he didn't end up going for one of them. And the university he is at has different campuses.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah, which is a shame because I think having these big universities is a nice thing. But also, his particular campus doesn't have accommodation on site. So he's had to hit their accommodation. Their uni accommodation is in the city centre, which I think for him is probably even more exciting because it means he gets to be in Party Town. But the actual look of the accommodation from the outside isn't very attractive.
It's on a horrible street. It's like it's one of them back streets that you get in Southampton, or you get in Sheffield, or you get in any major city.
I didn't mind it, actually.
But opposite it is an entire building site. It's just these 10-storey buildings opposite, all falling down, all got support beams up, the big, what do you call them, girders.
Yeah.
It's all work. Half the road's closed, half of the side of the road is closed for maintenance. That's going to be a right racket. I know that's not going to affect him that much. The building itself, the ground floor, a couple of nice licks of paint to make it look like a student building. But as soon as you look up to the second floor, it's grey, it's Russian, it's brutalist, it's horrible. He's not going to care.
No.
And inside, I'm sure it's got a lick of paint and everything looks new, but from the outside, it's horrible. And that's not just his building. That was every student building I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
So we walked through all of that. Now, do you think we should mention what you said this morning? Because I think there's a conversation going on with you and Leo that I didn't know about a couple of weeks ago, where he's expecting to just get dropped off curbside and wants us to... He's embarrassed by his parents.
I know, he wants us to carry the bags in.
Yeah, but then he wants us out of the way.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and knowing how much we've got for him now, which is a estate car packed to the
And
rafters.
that's without the food, the toiletry, the big shop, the supermarket shop. We've not even done that yet.
I think a little bit this is he don't want you to come in and do mumming while he's expecting the other 4 people in his flat to be like mid-20s adults who are all like, yeah, we've done it all ourselves. They're going to be the same.
Exactly. Yeah, and this morning I've woken up to so many photos and story feeds of parents doing exactly that, and then they've set up the rooms for them, and they've said they went out either for lunch or they went out and did a food shop or whatever, but they pretty much spent the whole day doing stuff with their son or daughter. But yeah, I'm hoping he's going to do a U-turn on that, and well, the thing is, it's because
he's forgot who he's got for a mum. It's not going to be a U-turn. He's going to, if that's the car he's in, it's not a U-turn.
Well, when he
he's
said it
going
to me
hit
the
a
other day,
wall.
I was like, no. I'm doing it for you one more time.
As your husband, I can tell you, there's only one way things get done, and that's the Laura way. So that was all scary, exciting. We saw his building. Now, I tried to reserve judgment because I'm thinking, this is Bristol. I've heard a lot of good things about it. And for the next 45 minutes, it was like bristol.com, bristol.co.uk. We turned a corner.
Yeah.
We went through an arch of a church. I don't know if it was St. John's. And it's an archway. Now, in the archway of this church, graffitied walls.
Yeah.
And then as we walk through, there's a big hipster man, big fat bloke with a beard, and he's doing a graffiti walking tour.
Yes, yeah, well, that's one of the things that Bristol is known for, their graffiti and artwork. And it's amazing, I love that.
I mean, it's everywhere. And I grew up in the 80s,
some people,
love it.
Graffiti looks like, it
very early.
Lowers the...
Yeah.
But
if there was graffiti on his cottage, I'd be upset. If somebody come and drew a big phallic symbol and then wrote the name in that font, I'd be upset because this is not a graffiti wall.
There's a difference between, writing,
but I like
an old building, but...
I like proper graffiti that's words. When you go on a subway station and driving in along the motorway.
Or on bridges.
Yeah, love all of that. Saw some good anti-mask, anti-vaccine graffiti driving in.
But there was some stunning...
Well, this is not... I'm going to call that wall art.
Yeah.
Because it's proper. One of the paintings that this guy were talking about was like a neoclassical sword fight, and it was the size 3 stories high. That's not like going and spraying a pud and a couple of nuts on
and we went through, like you said, this archway, and you made me touch the walls, and that,
they were like rubber walls with graffiti on.
Yeah, and obviously Banksy is known for being from Bristol, and
so we see that.
Yeah.
We walk 50 yards up road. We're in a vintage clothes shop.
Yeah.
And it's proper vintage. I mean, half the stuff looked like it should be set on fire, to be honest with you. Then we were suddenly in a bric-a-brac market on Corn Street.
Corn Street, yeah. It's literally just called Bristol Flea Market, yeah.
All the way down both sides of the road.
Yeah.
On the left of that was the St Nicholas Market, which is a covered market, a Warren...
Which, the clothes in there were right up my street. Joss sticks.
Can we say our?
Well,
because there's a lot of stuff in there that I liked. We're slightly different in that I didn't take it to the juggler.
I think
you went full juggler.
No, I would say I'm like, I was full on hippie, and you were a bit more surfy.
I was surfer boy, guitarist, stoner. I don't mean that in the literal sense, but what I mean is that look.
Yeah.
The long curly hair, those sort of beachy hoodies, of which you'll see me wearing now because I've bought one. And
well, we'd both be happy with you sat with a guitar, playing Bob Marley, wearing those kind of clothes.
You might hate us for this, but the 2 pairs of trousers we were looking at yesterday, which I can't find, Laura wants the proper hippie baggy trousers that emit patchwork. I want the plaid. They almost look like pyjamas that surfers used to wear in the 90s.
So they're slightly different. But even Betsy was like, what's that smell?
Yeah, you could smell the patchouli, you could smell the joss sticks. I'll say this, it weren't patchouli and joss stick prices in that little market. It was very expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you get it. I don't know how you get around being vintage here without having middle class money. So
no, I think it's charity shops is all the way for this one.
So that was all exciting. Now I freaked out a bit because there was so many people. And that Corn Street, we encountered the registry office at the top. There were people getting married. Yeah. Lots of people getting married, which I love to see.
Yeah.
There was hen parties everywhere.
There were a lot of
proper hen parties. I think there were stag do's because there were a lot of drunk men around. Now this is 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon. And there was thousands of freshers.
Excuse me.
Thousands of freshers walking about.
Well, the thing is...
I can't say it without you reacting. You're allergic to freshers, aren't you?
Oh, well... Right. It's really hard to say this without sounding like you're being old, because I think we're pretty...
We're cool parents.
Yeah.
Now, people who say that aren't normally cool, but I think, all things considered, we're pretty cool parents.
Honey borrows my clothes. She'll hate me.
Leo has come to college with half of my wardrobe.
You know what? And I feel like everyone should be free to dress how they want, but...
Students have changed.
And when I think of students, I think of the kind of people we've just been talking about, like, you know, a little bit arty.
Well, it's like the young ones. You get the hippie, you get the goth, you get the punk, you get the cool guy, you get it, and you get the student, the one who wears old suits, like granddad
and I think I was expecting to see, because I love all that. You know, I love the dyed blue hair and the, you know, like everyone having their own style. But I was really shocked. It wasn't like that at all. It was...
Primark and H&M.
Chavs.
Everybody looked like chavs.
Oh, my God. And again, you know, everyone should be free to wear what they want. But there were girls literally wearing pretty much nothing on their boobies.
Well, you'd said it to me. We'd gone into a pub. You sat outside. I'd gone inside to order. When I came back out, you were saying... A girl's just gone past in a bikini, but everything was hanging out, right? Before you got that sentence out, 2 girls came up that street. Yeah. Who looked like Sandra and Tracy out of Viz.
Yeah.
And
all shapes and sizes.
She started running, and her boobs just flopped out
they
in
were,
the middle of town.
She had huge bazookas.
She must have been 18 years old, and...
Well, the funny thing is, a lot of these kids looked younger than 18 to me, but they obviously weren't, because I'm sure they're probably all freshers. But oh my gosh,
I instantly just thought, we've got 2 daughters.
Well, there was a guy next to us who shouted, "Put them away."
Yeah.
And
I mean, you were filming it, but he did shout, "Put them away."
No, he sat with his wife. But yeah, I just... And Leo
it was a shock.
Was just laughing at us, like, "Oh, you guys don't know anything. That's how people dress." And I'm like, no. There's a difference. Like, you know, I don't mind wearing a top where you have a bit of cleavage. But there's a difference between that and literally pretty much not covering anything. And there's
that argument here for, like I was saying to Leo, if your sister, Honey, who's 60, coming up on 17, I said, if she was walking down the street dressed like that, with her nipples falling out, because that's what happened, or your girlfriend were doing it, and he just went, well, you can't tell people what to wear, instantly making me look like fuddy-duddy sexy. Yeah. And I didn't want to come out with it. I didn't want to say that thing about, you know, because it's not the girl's fault that men are animals and men are disgusting, and I want to make sure that's clear. I did
hear a lot of, I don't know if you could hear, there was some guys, and then when I heard it when I went inside the pub, they were saying, do they think that's attractive?
Yep.
And this is what I was trying to explain to Leo. Surely if you see a girl who's a little bit more,
It's not even classic, it's just average. Average.
Crop
the
top,
average girl.
crop top and a nice pair of jeans.
Can be a boob tube for me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That compared to literally what these girls were wearing, which was pretty much nothing, which again, makes me sound really old, but if you're looking...
We're not talking nothing. Like, Honey and her mates sometimes wear clothes that if they go to Redfest or somewhere like that, I'm a bit dad about it. I never say anything, but I always think, bloody hell, that's a bit revealing.
Whereas I feel a bit like, I wore that at their age, fine.
And as long as they're safe, I'm happy. What we're talking about here is genuinely, practically naked girls. I mean, the boys all look like chavs. The boys look like...
Well, the funny thing is...
Cut Price Love Island.
The boys look less chav than the girls. The girls... Yeah, well...
Anyway, we've ranted on about it, but it was a real shocker.
Yeah.
And so, as I said, we had about 45 minutes of what I'd call exciting Bristol time. And then I just really lost the feel for the place, because it started to feel... It felt like every city centre you go in, and I'm talking about Sheffield, where I'm from, I'm talking about Southampton down your way, I'm talking about Newcastle, where I lived. And I said it reminded me of Newcastle because it's beautiful buildings and streets and architecture, but on those streets, everybody seems to be drunk. And when I say that, I'm not talking about people from Newcastle. What I mean is, it's a big hen party place. We got sold that Bristol was this uber hip, the UK's version of Brooklyn, this trendy but hip trendy.
Yeah.
And that's right up my street, because I am...
Well, I said to you this morning, and I was thinking a more bigger city version of somewhere like Glastonbury, where, again, you get those people, those arty students, and then you get the vegan restaurants and the vegetarian, because that's how people were selling it to us. It was that kind of place.
It felt very towny.
Yeah, and I was really, really disappointed. And I'm hoping, because I know there's at least 2 people that listen to this podcast whose sons and daughters are going to Bristol. So I'm hoping, I don't want to...
And do me a favour, if you're listening to this and we're getting it wrong, right, because we're being honest, it's first impressions. We expected so much of it. I feel like we were oversold on it by everything we read and people who said that Bristol's such a cool place. And we tried to go to cool places. Tell me, message me, tell me where we went wrong, tell me where we need to go. Do it soon, because we're here for another week.
Well, we went to all the M Shed, the street markets. We went to the places that the tourist guides tell you to go. But all I'm hoping is, it was this Saturday, it was one of the first freshers. It
was ground zero.
Yeah. Like I say, loads of uni students had just arrived. There were hen parties, there were weddings. I think there was a drum and bass festival happening as well.
But that's not in the middle of town.
But I'm hoping that it was a combination of all these things, and it was just a rarity, because it did have, if you took all that away, it had these beautiful shops and like these, the street food stalls and stuff like that. It did have all that, but you just...
That St Nicholas market is
You couldn't
great.
get to it because it was just heaving with young...
I saw... It might just be in my mind, because we did get lost a bit. I think I saw 4 vodka revolutions. And again, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, loud 80s music on, everybody hammered. Now, I've lived out of the UK for a long time, but I used to go out on Saturdays. I used to go to town every Saturday in Sheffield. Yeah. Record shops, through the main drag.
I thought there'd be nicer pubs, like,
They feel proper towny pubs.
It was your
Slug and Lettuce.
O'Neill's and your... those kind of like pubs you just expect everybody to get trashed in. What's the Walkabout and those kind of pubs, which
I just don't know if we were in the wrong bit.
I don't know.
We need to. But look, again, messages, and I'm sorry that we're ranting, but I came away yesterday and expecting Bristol, like Betsy Pearl, to be a 10 out of 10. I thought, I'm going to be home. I want to be jealous. I want to get back as much as I can. I had glimpses
of that jealousy, and there was a point where I thought, oh, this is a bit like Paris. I had that feeling, but then it all just literally changed. Yeah,
and we read so much about the big vegan and vegetarian community, and we didn't see that much of it really. I'm sure we're going to find it. We walked down to the waterfront, which again I expected so much of, and it was just a line of pubs. It was a line of pubs. it all were a bit generic. So we turned around and walked away. We wondered a bit, we got lost. We were in the theatre district, saw the old Vic that we walked past.
Well, even that, I was disappointed because
It's got a modern front.
Yeah.
Old Vic's had a boob job.
Yeah.
We had this massive fashion discussion, which was total head against a brick wall. Because Leo, as I said, rose-tinted blinkers, and he's 18. Between us, we are nearly 100 years old.
He did get ID'd.
Oh yeah, because we sat outside the worst pub we could have found. You can see
it was
it on.
the only pub we could get into.
Yeah, most of them didn't have enough staff. And so we sat outside, had a burger. Chip Advisor did her job. And it was Leo's first ever legal drink in a pub.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's had illegal drinks in a pub, he hasn't, but this was his first one. I wanted him to go to the bar and order it, he didn't. And you got him. I mean, most people will go for half a lager or a pint of lager as the first drink. You got him a pineapple and raspberry? Pineapple and raspberry cider.
Well, it was a pint of cider because...
We were in a bottle, we were in a big brown bottle.
Yeah, but... because he's not a fan of beer, and he said, he's
That's
got
going to change.
Yeah, he's got to find that drink. So people have been saying to him, "Oh, try cider," and I personally do not like cider.
Me neither.
And I've said it tastes like apple juice. Everyone's saying to me, "No, it doesn't taste like apple juice." Anyway, he tries it. The first thing he says is, "Oh, it tastes like apple juice." Anyway, but then the staff, they came out and.
He saw that Leo was drinking it. He thought Leo was going to be drinking one of the lemonades, because I was on the soft drinks, as was Betsy.
Yeah.
Betsy and I are both teetotal. Actually, Betsy drinks way more than I do. And the guy saw that Leo had the bottle and he said, "Oh, have you got any ID?" And then this is the same at shopping tills, same at bank machines, same at car park exits. We are aliens. So it's like, ID, he's 18, where is mum and dad? He's coming to university. I'm trying to talk my way out of it.
He's just having none of it, is he?
The guy's like, "Oh, sorry, I've just got to get his ID." And I'm thinking, well, I'm not wasting what was probably a £5 bottle of cider.
Well, and Leo's not brought anything out with him.
No.
So he's not got his wallet, which has got his student card in.
Yeah.
But
so we found his Emirates ID.
Yeah, luckily I still had that in my purse.
No, his Emirates ID is great because in Dubai you can't drink till you're 21.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be able to use it for another 3 years. But here he's using an ID from a different country. So we got him served. From there we pretty much... Town quietened down a little bit. There were less mobs of people around. It got towards evening. And I was just left with a profound sense of disappointment. We left and we drove home via Thornbury.
Yeah.
Which is just 10 minutes down the road here. And we just wanted to do a supermarket shop. Now, in between Bristol and Thornbury, one of the biggest things we've had with Leo is he's going to be cycling, which is going to be a real shock to his system because we went up to his campus. Oh, we've not mentioned this actually, we should. We showed him his halls, his residence, but we also wanted to show him where he was going to be going to do his uni.
Yeah, for his lessons.
So it's called Bower Ashton?
Bower Ashton, which is right near Ashton Court, which is I think there's a stately home, and then...
It's beautiful, but it is on a very steep hill. It is on the side of a really steep hill. When you're looking at it on a map, as the crow flies, it's 10 minutes on a bike. In real life, I can tell you, that cycle, through the city, flat as a pancake, he's going to love it.
Yeah.
When he hits where all them flyovers are and the railway track, it's going to kill him getting up that hill every day. And he better be taking some deodorant because he's going to be stinking.
Yeah.
But we went up and it looked, again, they've sold you down river. It looks like a comprehensive school from the 80s. And then on the front facade, on the park side, the pretty side...
The bit they've taken the photo of.
They've put all this wooden frontage on.
Which
luckily is very pretty.
Is his building.
Anyway, not to be too down on that because I don't think that matters. It's what's happening inside that matters.
That's what she said.
Exactly. So we had a look at that. We went to the tobacco factory, which is supposed to be one of the most hipster places here. The Aldi next door were better. And that was it, yeah. So we came back via Thornbury. So one of the big things, as I was saying, with Leo is trying to persuade him how much he needs to wear his high vis,
Yeah.
to wear his helmet,
Yeah.
when he's riding his bike, because he's going to be cycling everywhere.
And protect his laptop in his bag and stuff like that.
Yesterday, as we were driving out of Bristol to Thornbury, the heavens opened. It went from this, what we're sitting in now, blue skies.
Yeah.
Within 30 seconds, I said to Betsy, do you remember, I went, oh, it looks like it might rain, Betsy, look. Seconds later, torrential downpour. And Leo went, where did this come from?
Yeah, and it's the first time pretty much in this whole time we've been back that we've seen proper rain.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of spitting down in Hampshire, but this was proper heavy, where you get soaked.
It rained for 10 minutes, but it was a torrential downpour, and we were going through dips, and we were going through fords, and we were going through... Betsy loved it. I'm driving through all big puddles. It's not my car. I don't care. And Betsy says, can I put my window down, see what it's like? I put her window down. It was like vampire crucifix. Daddy, put a window up, it's all coming in, the wet's coming in. So, stopped off at Thornbury Tesco, did a bit of a stock up. Again, foreigners walking around a supermarket. Look at this. They've got Marmite. They've got reduced salt Marmite. They've got Marmite peanut butter. It was amazing.
Marmite hummus, yeah. Although
Laura found a little vibrator. Didn't buy it, but did. I'm going to say.
I didn't find it. You pointed it out.
Well, we were walking past, and I went, "What's that?" And then, I walked past, pointed it out. I wasn't the one who stopped and read the box. I
was intrigued. It was this pointy little pink finger.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like, little thing in the supermarket. I was intrigued, so I was reading about the back of it. I put it back. Just
like me in a clothes shop, Laura said to the assistant, does it come in XXL? But it didn't. So it went back on the shelf. We got back in car and we drove home. Got back just before sunset, and we had a bit of a Saturday night. We built an open fire and we watched Saturday night telly quiz shows, but I just sat there all night with this, as you've probably heard from this podcast, this real sense of disappointment.
I think Leo was drained, probably partly from his pint of cider.
Yeah, but he just went and laid down.
He laid on the bed, and then I went upstairs and I turned the light on, and he went, "Oh, turn the light off, and I'm like, have you got a hangover already?
From a bottle of cider.
But yeah.
It's the pineapple in it that does it, I think. Or it could be the raspberry.
You know what they say about pineapple? Beautiful when it goes in, tastes lovely, but when it comes out, apparently it tastes really bad.
Well, it's never crossed my lips unless you count lilt. So that were it. We had a night watching telly, and I just felt really sad. And what saddened me most is we had such a good time in Hampshire. Almost every day an adventure.
Yeah.
One of my favourite bits was the walks, which I am enjoying here. Just done another. But we need... I got up and sat downstairs this morning doing my diary, and I just had that thought of we must find some positive angles here, because we're leaving him here. He's not moving. We're not going to move him up to Cheltenham and Gloucester and the nice country campus. This is where he's doing uni. He's got to get used to it. We've got to get used to him being here. And I think, however he wants to be at uni, I can't turn him into this cool, great taste in music, great hair, cool student kid. He's just got to be the kid he wants to be.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll all work out, but as parents, it's so freaky at first doing all of this. And it was his first time, and like we said, we walked into Bristol during ground zero. It can't be like that all the time. If it's like that all the time, right now I never want to go again.
Yeah.
Should mention this today. He's arranged to meet some mates in Bristol. They've all pulled out apart from one who's coming from London. So he can't pull out now because he's got his bus ticket, right? Today is the Great Bristol Run.
Yeah.
Every road in Bristol's shut. I've already said I'm going to drive him up to Barclay, put him on a bus down there, because it was mental getting in yesterday. But driving into a city centre when there's a marathon on, we are going to be sat in traffic for 4 hours. So I keep hinting about it. We've not had the discussion yet, but I've got a feeling on tomorrow morning's podcast I'm going to be shouting at Laura and saying, I bloody told you, and you forced me to drive him in, and we got stuck on them bloody motorways. We totally wasted a day, and I've got to go back to Dubai and go back to work soon, and you've wasted a day of my holiday. That could be tomorrow's podcast.
Probably.
How beautiful is it right here?
I've got my woolly hat on.
You want to be taking that off because it is so sunny.
But then I've got the sun on my face. So yeah, it's nice.
The garden in front of us, the lawn is just all covered in dew. Oh, last night. So every night when it's dark, I go outside to look at the stars because there's not much light pollution around here. I went out last night barefoot. I stood on a snail and squashed it under my feet. You can imagine what I was like, hopping around, trying to do like a karate kick flip with my foot.
I didn't realise it was barefoot.
And then because there's a security light, what do you call them that come on? Security light, I guess. As I turn around, I see something move out of the corner of my eye. Now, one of the main reasons I come out and every morning I'm looking out every window is because I love seeing wildlife in garden. And as yet, other than a couple of robins, I've not seen much. I turned around last night after standing on a snail barefoot, and I looked down and there's a huge frog hopping across the garden.
Did you lick it?
I didn't stand on it. So I'm screaming, Betsy, Betsy, Betsy. She came out barefoot again. And she was so excited, and she's like, can you screenshot that and WhatsApp it to me, Daddy? AirDrop it to me. So that'll be around Dubai now.
Yep. And then she said to us she was gonna do an all-nighter.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about this.
Yep. And she's been saying this the whole time we've been back. Oh, I'm going to do an all-nighter tonight. This is a new thing that she says.
Yeah.
And at about 10:30ish, she said, "Oh, I'm going to go up to bed." So I thought she was tired.
The end.
Yeah. Anyway, I went in and tucked her in and said goodnight.
We went to bed.
Yep. And then
fell straight to sleep. It's a precious commodity for me, sleep.
Yeah. 1:30ish, I hear a tap on the door, and I'm like, what? Betsy, is that you?
You wake me up.
And then, well, I didn't, but anyway, I opened the door. She stood there, all buzzing, wide awake. Mummy, I did it!
I've done an all-nighter.
It's
I sit
the
up
morning.
in bed like, what's going on?
And I'm like,
what's happening here?
Betsy, what on earth? You're going to be so tired tomorrow. So I was like, and then she looked all sad because I'd, half asleep telling her off.
Yeah.
But she was all so proud of herself. So then I had to tuck her back in, and then I was like, I think you should probably try and go to sleep now. So who knows what time she's going to wake up today?
Well, I expected we wouldn't be able to get this podcast recorded. I wasn't expecting Leo to get out of bed because he never does, but I thought Betsy would be sat here as part of audience and third wheel on the podcast. She's not appeared. So that's it.
We've probably talked too much already. So
we've done a lot today and it's been meandering, but I really want to get our feelings about the first time we've seen Bristol.
But if you are a Bristolian or you have stayed in Bristol, please tell us if we've done it wrong or where to go.
I don't think we've done it wrong. We went into the city centre. We walked around the city centre. We didn't walk around the
high street shops, wasn't it?
The Cabot Centre, is it called?
Yeah. Cabot Circus, is it?
Yeah, that's all proper John Lewis, House of
H&M,
Fraser.
Primark.
That's town.
Yeah.
We thought we were going round what I'd say is like the more arty quarter. I don't know if we did. We're not. I don't want to be down on it. So if you're listening to this saying, "Oh, there's
no," I'd love for us to be wrong.
And this is our holiday. This is the last bit of this time we've got with Leo and here. I want to love Bristol. I want to leave Bristol loving it. If you've got a tip on it, please give us the tips, right? We'd love to see your tips. You can message us. The details are in the doodahs, the description. And I'm slightly dreading today. I hope it's not going to go as bad as I think. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to finish my coffee now. Bye.
The end.